artist and are interested in zooming in and doing some drawing homework, please head on over to either of the app stores or go to community.reinventingthetattoo.com. And you click on the events link and you will find the links to all of the upcoming events. We do tons of live streams, but also the Zoom link. And if you are zooming in, just make sure that you shut off the stream in the background, because otherwise we'll have a crazy echo panic. My name is Gabe Ripley. I am actually on the road, so hopefully my internet works, and I am doing this all off of memory. So I guess first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. It's pretty amazing to have all of the contributions and all of the people watching. Please let us know if this is working in the chat room for you. It looks like we've got a limited amount of streams going out here. I'm going to pop it onto the tattoos.com Facebook because they're awesome. Let's see here. We've got the Reinventing the Tattoo. We're on the Facebooks. You could always find us in the, like I said, in the app stores. You could also find all the replays in the YouTube replay, the podcast store. And please leave your reviews, your kind words on those platforms, because these channels are brand new there. Feel free to send constructive criticism to management at reinventingthetattoo.com. So I want to catch up. I want to make sure everyone knows about our sponsors, because they actually make this happen. WorldTattooEvents.com, the most comprehensive website for tattoo convention information. And as you can imagine right now, it's changing all the time. We've got inkjetstencils.com, so you can do all of your prep on your computer or on your tablet, and then print out a stencil straight from your I think they're Eco Tank Epsons, and yeah, they sell the stencil ink and the paper. It's awesome. Inkjetstencils.com. Check out their videos. Let's see. Rawpigments.co is an acrylic-free ink set, tattoo ink set from, I think they're in California. And yeah, like I said, they're acrylic-free. They don't dry up in the cup. They are vegan-friendly. Rawpigments.co. Again, we have videos of all of these sponsors. They do great stuff, and they have awesome artists that talk about their products. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. So let's see. So tattoonow.com. I'm a computer geek. I do websites, search engine optimization, consulting, CRM management. Check it out, tattoonow.com. If you are a tattoo shop or an artist or a supply company interested in some technology or business programming. GuyAitchison.com founded the whole Reinventing the Tattoo project over 25 years ago, I think, at this point. Or maybe it was tattooing for over 25 years. Anyways, it's been forever. Reinventing the Tattoo used to be the book. Now it's courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. You can check it out. He's got his Canon there every Monday night. He does exercises. Tonight is going to be a live exercise with Ty McEwen, I believe. And I believe it is open to the public. So that's tonight at 9 o'clock. Let's see here. I think that was all our sponsors. We have upcoming events. I guess because I'm doing this off the fly, I'm just going to plug one of them. The Paradise BYOB. It's happening October 3rd to the 6th. It's happening at Jiminy Peak Mountain Resort. So there's lots of air. There's different rooms that people walk around in between, and I imagine there'll be a lot of plein air painting and whatnot. Feel free not to come. We'd love for you to come, but you can beam in, and we will be webcasting the stage. We'll be webcasting one of the seminar rooms. You know, of course, if you do show up in person, then yeah, it'll be a good experience. You know, who knows what's going on with the the COVID here. So, you know, when we plan the event, we were planning it for no more than 100 people inside of a room, all masked up, and to be webcasting out to the masses. And while we might be having a pretty lax summer, it feels like we might be heading into that. Anyways, who knows what's happening? If you get your tickets, they will be transferable to the webcast version if you can't make it in person. And they're very affordable. There's 5 packs for the price of 4. And apprentices are welcome. There's stuff, apprentice boot camp, something for apprentices every day. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about any of the other events because there'll be plenty of time in the future, and my computer might be kind of screwing up. Anyways, I'm not even sure this is working. I might be talking to myself here. Jake, you're here, and Ricardo, you're here. Awesome.
Yeah. You're everything's going smoothly as far as I can tell. You look clearer than you did last night, so that's good.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm outside. Yeah. I got natural light. I am squatting. Strengthening my lower back muscles here. But cool. Let me,
One thing I did
let's
notice,
take it away, Jake. This is the Monday morning drawing group with Jake Meeks.
Yeah. Thanks, Gabe. It looks really nice wherever you are.
Yeah, I'm
Lots of
out in
green.
Buffalo. This is at the in-laws. Cecilia's
Okay.
getting tattooed by Theoduskin.
Today, right?
Yeah, so at noon she'll
Yeah.
be getting tattooed, and then I'll be driving home afterwards. And one of her other friends, one of Cecilia's other friends, came out um, driving 6 hours to get a good tattoo.
Oh, nice. Well, good. We may, and a few people look like they're able to find it, but when I had text earlier, I went to the community page, and normally where it would say artists zoom in, it said previous episodes.
Yeah,
So I don't
if
know. I don't know
anybody's
how
there, if they click reload or
it'll
refresh,
pop up. Okay.
it'll pop up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this happened a little bit last minute. I wasn't sure that I was gonna have a computer that worked, but I
Gotcha.
did.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Glad that worked. Well, hopefully people will kind of pop on. Looks like we made a loss for Ricardo, but we have oh no, we didn't. He popped back up just on a different. He came up as Bruno this time.
Yeah, they're
It
all
said
together.
Ricardo a minute ago. Now it says Bruno. Gotcha.
Hey guys, good morning.
How's it going? How are you guys?
Hey, good.
Give us here.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, you guys you're like always have a group hangouts early in the morning. It's crazy.
Yeah, across the nations.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on with you guys? What are you working on this morning?
We got together here in Miami to spend a little time painting and tattooing, collaborating. So we're just relaxing. We started, Ricardo and I started working on this piece yesterday during Jason's drawing group session with some charcoals. And yeah, man, we're just letting it loose, having some fun. Kier joined us last night. So, so it's really
How's it going? Yeah.
Anything can happen.
That piece is looking super cool. That's great. Are you guys what's happening in the guys Canon drawing group? Are there any assignments going right now? Are you guys still participating in it?
Yeah.
Ricardo, I guess you are.
Going on, right?
Yeah, I got something going on. I'll show you guys real quick. Let me grab it up real fast from my iPad.
I realized I didn't say hi. How's it going, Jake and Gabe? What's up, Gabe?
Gabe,
How goes it?
how's it going? That piece is gonna be sweet. Really nice. So Ricardo, what brought you to Miami? Just to go hang out? Are you tattooing there or what?
Well, we talked about tattooing one of Bruno's people, one of his clients, and I think we're gonna work on a collaborative piece together. That's always been pretty exciting. But mostly it was just to kind of hang out, like we all met each other here on the forum and stuff like that, and we've been chatting and texting and talking and stuff like that, and come up with ideas, inspiring each other, motivating each other, and figure that we'd all meet in person, So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great.
we just felt like having coffee
It's
one
cool
morning.
to see that.
We'll come down. We'll fly down and have some coffee with you this morning. No big deal.
Yeah.
Memphis. Is Kira driving or flying?
No, I flew.
I was gonna say if you drove down, you could swing through Memphis. It's probably only 6 hours, 8 hours out of the way.
That's like 24
Yeah, probably.
hours.
That's a long way.
Yeah, it's less than a day. Well, about a day.
About a day's drive.
I have a good interview segment with Bob Tyrell where we talk about doing cross-country trips solo. And I guess not everyone. It's all good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
my driving days are over. I think I like to fly, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost have to pay me double to get into a plane at this point. I don't want to get in a plane with all those fucking people. I'd way rather spend that much, more time alone by myself. Anyways, this is your.
No, don't get me wrong. I enjoy that too, man. But dude, I don't know. I just want to get somewhere and then be able to chill out by yourself, or like hang out with these guys and stuff like that, But that's it. I feel you, Gabe. I really do, because the airports, they're pretty, I don't know, testy these days. You know what I mean? And I use that word testy because everybody does it for COVID.
It's a gamble.
Yeah. it's a game.
I fly out to Virginia Beach tomorrow, Wednesday morning, and this will be my first flight since it's really opened back up. But I've had the easiest time flying up until I guess the last time I went to Virginia Beach was early in the spring, maybe like March or something. And the airports have been empty. Like I've flown, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times over the last year, and I never had anyone else on my row. Like if there were, if I'm there are 3 seats on my row, I've always had the entire row. So it's been super nice, but I hear that that's all changed in the last few months.
So busy in the airport now.
Yeah.
Like-
That's what I hear. That's too bad, because it was really nice for a little while. It was like nothing to it. You could show up, 30 minutes before your flight, walk through security, walk onto the plane. But I guess not now. Yeah.
And now it's packed, it's busy. People are getting real, kind of agitated pretty easily, man. But it's all good.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the flying just because like you can get there the same day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, especially if you live around a bigger airport. I don't, so I have to fly from a small place to like Chicago and then take off from there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
St. Louis, but yeah. So that's
Same.
I drove yesterday, and that sucked.
You drove how far yesterday?
Just from where I live in Normal, Illinois, to Chicago. It's only a couple hour drive, but navigating through the the parking lots and everything like that, dude. It's kind of like worth it though. Miami's great. Have you ever been down here?
I've never been to Miami in my life. Never have.
It's
Yeah, I
beautiful.
did a freelance computer programming gig there like 25 years ago. It was hot.
Mm.
I remember walking to the office at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden, like within 10 minutes, I'm drenched in sweat. I'm like, it's fucking hot. But yeah, no, it's a cool place down there. Stay safe.
Yeah, it gets hot.
Yeah, it gets real hot. It was pretty warm here yesterday. I guess it's a little bit warmer than Massachusetts, right? So
Yeah, I would imagine.
Moister, moist.
Ed.
I'm not drawing, so at least some drawings are showing here. Yeah, it's miserable right now in Memphis, and I would imagine that Miami is worse than Memphis. But this weekend, we spend most of our weekends at the lake. We've got a boat about 2.5 hours from here in Arkansas. Really beautiful area in Arkansas, but you really couldn't get out of the water this entire weekend. It was miserably hot.
Yeah.
Mid upper 90s, and the sun just felt so close to you. It just baked you.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, but it's that time of year in Memphis. I'm hoping Virginia is a little bit better. I'm excited. I'm getting tattooed on Saturday, and I thought I had 2 days back to back this time, but we weren't able to make it work. So only one day, and then I'm back again in September for some back to back days. But I'm hoping
You've got a nice camera. Why don't you put your camera on full screen and disrobe? Show off the tattoo you're talking about. All these.
Yeah, I don't know how well I could try. Let's see.
I mean, just a little improv.
What's probably
stripping.
What would probably be better is if I found a photo of it, because I don't know how I would. And I might be able to kind of block myself because it's a full back to knees.
Oh yeah,
kind of piece.
We're gonna see that one way or another.
Yeah. See it eventually. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it here. But yeah, I'm excited about getting back into it, and hopefully getting a podcast in. I've been doing this illustrative tattoo series for Fireside with different illustrative style artists. So I'm hoping to get one in with Andy Chambers while we're there, and maybe I haven't talked to him about it, but he's got a neighbor. He's in a private space, but there's one other guy he splits it with. A guy named Val. I don't know Val's last name, but he's a good illustrative style tattooer too. Do you guys know let me see, Val? No, the first Val that pulls up is that Valentina. Gabe, remember we tried to reach out to her, and she was so hard to get in touch with. We were trying to get her to do that. Inspiring tour. She we couldn't get through her people. She has
How
too many
How
people
could it actually be to offer somebody thousands of dollars to travel to someplace really awesome?
and teach.
We're
I
cool
know.
people.
Yeah, yeah. You
But
know,
not
she's
very many.
she's a great teacher though, it seems. I follow her. She has like her tattoo page and then her teaching page, and she'll do these long form kind of ideas, or long form kind of posts on her thought process when she's teaching tattooing or when she's whatever planning. She does a lot of color realism, and color illustrative realism, and she's I guess is she Russian? Where's she from? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but yeah, it's yeah, the
Something like that.
I
But
wouldn't be
like
surprised.
yeah, I'm always surprised at how at her how well she speaks or how well she writes in English. Being as I don't think that she speaks English very well, but she writes English really well. And,
I remember I saw her a couple times on Instagram, and it looks like she was learning several different languages. I think she was
really?
trying to speak German and stuff like that too. I'm not sure. And then, but
Huh.
yeah, on the English though. It's
Yeah.
really- my English is terrible, and I'm from. I speak from an English speaking country.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
from
I got the
normal
same-
America.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Normal America. That's right.
Yeah, well, once we sell out the New Hampshire gig with Sean and Baxter, and then we do it, and we have like drone footage of like amazing stuff going on. We'll be able to catch some of those other teachers that we can't catch yet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And when is that? You didn't mention that again in the intro.
April. It's in April 2022. I have the dates. I've been chatting with the venue and everyone. We're solidifying like 3 dates of the event. So there's a day of portrait painting, a day of landscape painting, and then a day where they're going to kind of bring it all together and do a collaborative tattoo. And then
nice.
I think the next day it'll be like an informal field trip day where we go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
So that's in April. And if anybody's interested, there's only 5 spots available. It's going to be like, I don't know, we're trying to figure out the final details. It'll be between 2,000 and 2,500. It includes the bed and breakfast. So it includes some meals. It includes, you're at the hotel. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And there'll be 5 people taking the experience, I guess.
Yeah, that would be well worth it for such like such a small group to spend so much kind of one-on-one time with those 2 guys. I really don't know Sean Barber at all.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, but I love his work. I bought his first kind of painting DVD that he put out years ago. It was just he was just set up a still life and painted a skull, but he did a really great job of showing like how to he made the process super non-intimidating. Like he would scrub in, like he would wash the surface with liquid and then scrub in a glaze over the entire painting, and then didn't like the way it was going, so he just wiped the whole thing back out. And I remember back at that point in time being a little more intimidated by oil paint, and that his his approach really took a lot of the pressure off. I thought he did a really good job. I'd like to go back and watch that again. It's funny. I was, we were talking about, you've got Mike DeVries coming and teaching at the Paradise
3D
BYOB.
tattooing.
He'll be what? Oh, 3D
3D
tattooing. Okay, yeah. And so, he did with, I guess he had an apprentice, and years ago he did like the first kind of digital design for tattooing DVD I ever saw. I bought that too. I remember thinking that was so good. But it's funny like how the standards change as digital teaching or online teaching becomes more and more common. Where it's like I can kind of picture it was just like basically a webcam with the 2 of them sitting at a desk, and Mike's like asking the dude questions. The guy's like, "Well, I would do that like this, this, and this." So they basically just set up a camera and like filmed the apprentice teaching him digital design. And I was like,
Yeah, that was Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
Jamie, yeah. Guy's a sick ass tattooer now.
Oh, really? Oh. I just
That's
thought.
funny. Mike's always been a very forward-thinking kind of businessy guy, and so he's got his formulas down for his, the 3D Trompe l'oeil kind of stuff that, you've seen those tattoos, the little, pops right out of the skin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he'll do like a slideshow, presentation the first day, and then a second day we'll break out with fake skins, and everyone could start tattooing it up.
Oh,
And so they'll tattoo these those little candy things.
yeah. So the idea for Paradise, people will be bringing their tattoo equipment to participate, or
For professional development purposes, I do need
Yeah.
to quadruple check. I mean, obviously for fake skins and shit, that's not even an issue.
Right.
The health department, I'm checking with, or not checking with. I know that we could do. It's just a matter of paying for the things to do the stuffs. But we're going to probably try to do as little as possible, so it's only in professional development. For only professional development purposes for
Yeah.
tattooing. Like we're not like pipes and drapesing out the whole place and like selling tattoo booths. That would
yeah, I did know
again.
that.
We're trying like again, kind of the gig. It's almost like stay home, beam in.
Yeah,
If things are getting hot, fuck it.
right.
I don't want to get in an argument about vaccinations and fucking masks and all that shit. Stay home, beam in. There'll be a bunch of people that comes out. We can hang out by the fire.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we will beam everything out, but we want to sell out the hotel, so please call.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like you hate for it to be like empty and everyone's just virtual. I mean, it'd be cool if there were enough people to fill the place up. So like,
Well, there are shops. There's a couple shops. I mean, more than a couple shops that are already coming.
right.
There's tickets, so there'll be people that show up. And again, for the most part, people that make it out to Jiminy Peak aren't assholes. It's a
Yeah.
lot of effort to go be an asshole.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some new folks. Jason and Rich Wren. Look at that. Rich is actually going to be on Wednesday. Rich's episode that we did is coming out for the illustrative tattooing series. What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Not much. Just wanted to say sorry for jumping on late and
Oh, no
getting a
problem
late
at all.
start.
No problem at all. Yeah, thanks for jumping on. We've just been talking about how Ricardo just bounces the country drawing pictures with folks.
Yeah, he does, man. The dude's a traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying. About
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and I
Cheers.
can't wait to see Rich's episode on Wednesday either. I watched
Yeah.
his first one, man. Inspiring.
Yeah. The first one, we really didn't know each other at that point. I think we just had I don't remember exactly how it came about. We just kind of happened to cross Rich at the in Oregon and at Joshua Carlton's event. Why am I drawing a blank? Evergreen. At Evergreen. And I really didn't know much about Rich then, but then we've met, I don't know how many times since then, quite a few. And then as soon as I started the illustrative series, I was just making a list of people that popped in my head, and Rich was one of the first to pop in my head. And it's funny how it works. Do you guys know Cooper? The Superstition is his Instagram. He's been at he's not now, but he was at Aaron Delavedova's shop for a long time. That's where I met him. He was on the show a long time ago at Guru. But
No.
it's funny how like I had just started thinking, I was like, oh, he'd be a good one to reach out to. And then just yesterday.
Wait, sorry, who is that? Is that who's that guru?
The Superstition on Instagram, if you want to pull up.
Superstition. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I was thinking Turk's one of my favorites.
Anyways, I was thinking about Coop, and I was like, man, he'd be a great one to put on. And then I pick up my phone yesterday, and he had texted. He was like, man, I love that series. I know you got access to all different types of people, but if you'd ever want to sit down and talk to me about that kind of stuff, that's my jam. It's like, oh, sweet. I was just thinking about you. So we're gonna do his next, I think.
No, not super.
Yeah, the _ superstition.
Ah, that would be why I can't find it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he's really good. He does it looks like a lot of his work is he'll do these huge fields of what look like opaque grays in like, a quarter of a back, but it's all washes. He is just like he goes so deep into technique. He's got so many ideas on you should go back and watch our original episode. It's got to be a few years old. It's from the Guru series, but that's when we first started talking about how ink really gets into skin and stuff. And he had this analogy of like poking a stick into a creek. Do you remember? Did you ever watch any of those or watch that series? It was It was really good. He's a smart dude.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyways, he'll be the next one. Oh, Gabe, you probably can't pull it up because of you're in remote, right?
No, I'm actually looking for it, and I think he might have changed his name on Instagram.
Hold on, let me see. I'll share my
It's still right.
is it
Is
still
it?
right?
It's still right. The superstition.
Yeah, the superstition.
All
Let me
right.
see.
Shit.
I'll pop this up since I've got my screen already set up.
I do love a lot of the Aaron Deladova interviews. You did
Yeah,
an awesome one with him. I remember at one point, I forgot which one it was, but he's just like, the answer is love. I'm like, holy shit, this is a tattoo podcast. What? He's like, no, the answer is love. I'm like, yeah, but you realize you're beaming out to a bunch of black shirts, right?
Right. So this is yeah. So can you guys see? I've got it pulled up here. Let me see if I can scoot it over where I can see. So yeah, I always thought when I first saw his work before I met him that he would do all these kind of pattern-based things with some illustrative stuff, and I always thought that all of his gray work was a solid opaque gray, but they're all washes. They're just so freaking smooth. And I watched him work on one of these big pieces while I was there, and looking at all the healed stuff, it's mind-boggling how smooth it is. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see. But yeah, super. He was a great, really knowledgeable, great dude to have on the show. So you should definitely check his episode out. And like I said, we're about to do another one. So
That's a lot of control in those large fields of wash like that.
it is. Man, I was trying to find some of the like super crazy large fields that like really blew my mind, but I'm sure this was years ago, so they may be really old by now. I don't know. They may be way back here. Oh, there we go. There's our interview right there. So I guess it would have been around this time. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's crazy.
Incredible.
Can't remember who I talked to, but I met somebody somewhere who also had really large fields of really light grays like that, and it just looks so smooth and so perfect. You don't see a single stroke, and the trick, obviously skill, but the trick that I was told was to pretend like your black and gray is your color. No matter how many times you go over red, it doesn't get more red. It doesn't get darker red. It stays that red you're putting in. So to treat your black and gray as if you're putting in color, pack it as solidly and tightly as possible, and that smoothness will be there if you're consistent with it. And I've tried that a million times. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, that seems. I can't even make the way that I approach color. I can't even. My brain won't let me put in light or medium gray wash that way. I don't think. I just want to wash it in, and just packing it in would make me feel so anxious. But I guess I guess that's probably true. Who else can pull that off? Well, really, Gogwe, and then also Laura Jade. They've both gotten to the point where Laura fairly recently, she's gotten to the point where she started to pull some of that stuff from Jeff, where like she'll just like completely wash out a background with there'll be like a negative bird or cherry blossom or something in the front, or a patch of them, and then these huge washes of solid gray. And I think that they do something similar. It's just like packing it in like color. But yeah. Yeah,
see that a lot in Japanese style tattooing as well. You'll see a lot of very large fields of black and gray, sometimes very, very subtly. So I'm actually looking at a guy who I've always been inspired by, Orient Ching.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like looking at how he gets just one subtle, long, light gradient in some of his large scale pieces blows my mind.
Yeah.
I got to watch him work at London the one year, and it was a mind altering experience. He's running his machines so fast and hard, but it's so smooth as far as those transitions go with all just gray wash.
Yeah.
And watching that just kind of changed my mind about the way that everything transitions, and how if you do treat it like a color, and you do just pack it in there, you can achieve a solid field, so long as you don't go back into it and try to mess with it or anything like that, because then you're actually just adding gray wash on top of gray wash. That's going to change the value.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the technical term for it would be called, but I guess I would call it like back shading or whatever. Sort of like what you do also with your color. You know, you do your darks, you do your lights, then you blend your mids over your lights, and it partially stains the next color, as well as, you know, your stroke and the way your hand speed and everything like that. That has always worked really well with my black and gray. I always love doing that with black and gray, because you're staining the skin, so you get that like transitional that transition a little bit nicer and smoother, because you're not necessarily using the you know, the needle to do it. You're also like purposefully trying to stain your light with your mids, and then your darks with your mids, and then your black. You know, I'm classic though. Like I do dark to light. Like I don't try to do the back shading stuff, but it's worked in the past for me, even with texturized needles in black and gray.
I've always called it like a collective saturation, you know?
Yeah.
Where I push all of those fields of black and gray like that. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Rich. A lot of people will do an entire field of like a soft tone of gray, and then they'll go back in and like literally almost sometimes stick their thumb in the ink cap and then rub it over the whole area, like where they want it.
That's worked well for me in the past, when I was like all about those really smooth transitions. Lately, I'm just not really as concerned with it, you know, like, you know, like black's the thing that's forever. So
No,
like,
more black.
do your best and whatever.
You know, Gabe put this up on the forum the other day, and he was talking about when we were asking, like, let's name the tattoo artist that people might not know. I named Philip Liu, and he's got that huge negative dragon bodysuit that's all washes and stuff like that too. Like when I was first starting out, man, he was like a huge inspiration to me, like especially for that reason, with those smooth fields, those giant smooth fields of wash. It's incredible. And like you said, man, it's so crazy to see that where there's no stroke marks at all.
Yeah.
It's like looking at glass sometimes, you know, it's just like, so yeah. Wild.
That's a perfect example. I remember when Gabe and then put on the Venetian event, the Venetian Tattoo Gathering. I met I forget her name now. She's a tattooer, but she was there in the painting room. She was just set up to paint, and she had her boyfriend had a full bodysuit by Philip Liu, and she had like a partial like back and leg. And the same thing, it was like the lines were bold and black, but all the grays were medium to light. There was almost no black wash. It was all light to medium wash, and so buttery smooth. And it was like, I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old, like way settled in. And I just remember like staring at it almost like it had grown from her skin, you know. It was just like, it didn't even look like a tattoo. It just looked like she kind of like seeped these tones, you know, out of her body. It was just like, holy crap, that's the craziest tattoo I've ever seen. And you couldn't even tell, I mean, outside of water, you couldn't even tell what all the shapes were from any. I mean, I didn't get her to completely disrobe or anything, but she's like showing different parts of it. And I never could tell exactly what the tattoo was, but it was just the most like, I don't know, seamless kind of like transition of forms out of her skin tone into a medium gray, couple of punchy, you know, black lines. It was just like, wow, it's so crazy to see that in real life.
Yeah, I love when you come across those like ones that just smack you in the face and you're like, fuck, I'm terrible. Like, why am I doing this?
I know.
But right now, flat.
Yeah, absolutely. This one, as we were talking, that this looks like a fresh one that Coop was doing, and it does look like, I mean, if you looked at that, that's obviously, those are medium to light grays in here. Can you all see that? Do I have that pulled up? Yeah. And it does look like it's packed in like color, really, you know? I mean, these light grays.
Also, I noticed when I picked up, you know that brand, the Grays?
Yeah, I've never tried it.
Yeah, it's really smooth like that. It's really like, I guess you would call it like predispersed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really nice, because I used to just always mix out my black and grays using, I use Talons. And I just mixed out my talons forever with soapy water, and that's it. And then when I picked up the grays, I was like, fuck, these lines are smooth.
Yeah.
You know, like it was weird because I fought that for almost 20 years using a pre-mixed black and gray. And now that I do it, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the same when we were talking about this on our show last night. When Silverback first came out with the pre-mixed gray set, my first thought was like, what a scam. Like, why would anyone buy this? It's like, buy watered down ink. And then of course I started using them and liked it. And then I've been through a ton of different gray wash sets since then. But lately I've been using the whitewash series where they've got just a couple of drops of white in the gray wash. And you can't really, I really like it. You can't really tell on the darker side any difference. So dark and medium washes look like dark and medium gray washes, but the light and the extra light, when you put them in the cap, they look opaque. Like you can tell there's white in it. And when you pack, especially the extra light, if you put it in the skin, you can like see how consistent it is. It doesn't let the redness of the skin jump through quite as much. When it's healed, I haven't been able to tell any difference. It looks like a regular gray wash, but when it's fresh, you can see the consistency of it.
There was a need for that, right? Because you got to get all your pictures as soon as you do the tattoo. Sometimes you never know when you're going to see that person again,
Yeah.
So that's what innovation, necessity, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when I was out at the Battlefield Expo, I was talking to the guy working right next to Harlan Cantor. His name is Gonzo. And he was using the whitewash set for all of his black and gray tattoos. And I was talking to Harlan about it because he was obviously super busy. And Harlan mentioned something where he's actually watched him go through and use the whitewash set and layer over top of a darker area, because those light and extra light values have a little bit of white in them, and it'll maybe alter that value just slightly and bring it up a notch, as opposed to not being able to go back into it if it's too dark or change anything once it's in there. He'll actually layer the whitewashes to create the correct tone. So I always found that to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'd have to see that. I'd have to see that like healed and settled and watch it work. That just doesn't seem like there's enough white in that to affect anything long term, but there might be. Actually, Lauren last night was talking about, she works for Raw Pigments, and she said that their formulation actually has a lot more. It's almost semi-opaque, where the ones that I've been using are the Empire series, and it's just enough to see it when the tattoo is fresh. But she says the Raw Pigments version has more white, so it's like closer to actually being an opaque gray. I have those. She sent me a set of them. I haven't opened them yet, but I need to try them out side by side.
Who would be really awesome for you to talk to or interview about that kind of stuff?
Who?
Jason Angst. He was super, super, super knowledgeable about how to use those kind of black. He uses several different types of black and gray from several different companies and uses them all on one piece. So, he'll do like more of the blue, more of the opaque, regular black and gray. He'll use silverback, and then he'll use, like a blend out from like, talons or whatever. And he's extremely knowledgeable about that stuff. So I would definitely suggest looking to him for that,
His last name is Angst?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's his tattoo name.
Okay, got you.
Pirate name.
Yeah.
So Jason Angst, Angst. Let me see if I can find his Instagram.
Already got it.
Got it.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's Jason Angst. Yeah, he's super knowledgeable about that stuff, and he was talking that theory stuff to me about that like 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm not sure how his work's looking right like now. It's been a while since I've talked to him.
Well, the cool part, different inks like that from different companies, is that it's almost like when you do contrast versus or texture versus, what is it, like a texture smooth kind of thing. You have some areas that are smooth in a tattoo versus some areas that are, they kind of create a different dynamic for it. I mean, it'd be like a soft versus hard edge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's better examples of his work than this one. He's super, super fucking talented.
Yeah. Yeah, they
he
look
gets
really
he gets
nice.
in those tight, tiny little spots and those little
Hmm.
nooks and crannies and bumps and texture. And he's
Yeah.
he tattoos very different too. Like he does like maybe like 3 sessions on, like after when you think the piece is done, he still
Yeah.
has like 2 more sessions to go. And you're like, hell, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. 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 I've always, that's something I noticed kind of early on with when we started interviewing tattooers and going and doing like series at different shops or whatever, and I got to watch everyone tattoo. I was like, no matter how good the tattooer is, how legendary their work is or whatever, at like hour 3, it looks about like my tattoos. And at hour 5, it probably still looks about like my tattoos. And then whenever I would be done, they still have like an hour or 2 left to go. And it's like, oh, that's where they start to separate themselves. It's not from the very beginning most of the time. But yeah, that's really nice.
They're talking about the finished edges, the finished touches, those little details.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice.
That's killer.
I do. I've started to work more, and Andy Chambers got me doing this, teaching that workshop with him. I've started to align everything with black and gray work, especially, and go through and lay all of my mid-tone values in first. I realize when I look at people who like that hand right there, that I stay with black too long a lot of times, and the tattoo as a whole ends up too dark. Where I find the stuff that I like the most, it's a lot of, like we were talking about the Philip Blue piece earlier, it's a lot of medium tones, and then the blacks are pretty minimal, but they're like punched in the right areas. And then a lot of times they'll use, like Rich, you do this too, but with color tattoos, like use a lot of linear texture, like create a lot of interest just by using a small liner and running it all kind of through to create the shape a little bit more, but the color behind it might be pretty flat, or the gray behind it might be flat, but it's the linear texture that makes the difference. I never used to do that. I tried to like sculpt all that, and I would use black too long, and the tattoo as a whole would get kind of heavy. And so I'm trying to get away from that. And I'll start with my medium. Like I'll go through 4 caps of medium gray wash before I even touch a dark gray or black, just trying to get everything consistent, just figuring where my light and shadow shapes are. But,
yeah, I think sometimes I've gotten a little caught up in, like you said, doing those like lines and adding too much in there. Last night I did a piece where I had like, a horn with all like the texture on it, that like using the lines, and I just did like black to red transition, and that's it. No sculpting, no highlights, just fuck that. Just go across all of it.
Yeah. Are you normally doing all that line texture first and then just laying color over it, or do you come back over color?
Just laying color over it. Yeah. Occasionally when I'm like in the moment or whatever, I'll like, go back in and do like little color lines as well, just to add a little more texture or a little more whatever.
Yeah.
Just tighten things
It looked
up.
too empty in that spot, so I got to fill it up with nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things, like I was saying, teaching that workshop with Andy last year, he did some event, and I think I've mentioned on this show before, he did some events where he got to go tattoo with all his favorite tattooers, and he was already doing really nice work, but he said he noticed like Gogwe was there, Teresa Sharp, Steve Moore, I think maybe Baxter, but a handful of different artists that he looked up to. And he was like, I noticed that all of them used like 3 liners, and I never used anything less than like an 8 round shader or whatever. And he was like, and they would come in with these 3 liners at the end of their tattoos, and they were always like tapering lines a little tighter or laying in linear texture. And it was all with these like really tiny fine lines. And it really, what he was talking about was more about having a process, not necessarily that 3 liners are the trick or anything, but just that they all kind of did that. And he was like, I realized that their process was so much more defined than mine at that point, where I was just kind of like, going in little different directions each time that I did a tattoo. Like, I'm going to do all this first and then this, and then come back with that. And where he's like, the rest of these people seemed like they knew exactly, they were very deliberate. They knew exactly what was first, second, third. And watching them come back with those small liners at the end, he was like, that's why they're better than me, is like they're trusting their process all the way through.
Jason mentioned something last week about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that confidence in knowing where you're going beforehand. You got the map already. Like that'll add speed. It'll add so much to it. You know what I mean? Like that person starts getting exhausted at hour 6. If you're fast enough, you might be able to pump in some more details, you know, earlier and quicker.
Right. Yeah. I've got a 3 minutes to better tattooing coming out sometime when I finish editing it. But it just kind of hit me. I wasn't planning to do it, but it's this full leg sleeve that I started on a guy maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And he was in medical school. He ended up getting a job like at Duke University so he graduates from Memphis, goes to Duke. Of course, once you're in your whatever phase of training he is, like there's no chance that he ever comes back. So I literally just couldn't even visualize the tattoo. Couldn't find photos of it. But he had called and asked, he was going to be in town, wanted to get worked on. So we booked 2 days kind of back to back. And I'm like scouring my phone. I'm sure it was on an old phone. I'm going through all my drop boxes. I'm like, man, I can't even picture this tattoo. And so when he shows up, I look at it, I'm like, okay, I kind of remember it now. And then I realize like, it doesn't really matter because whatever phase I got to, as long as I'm trusting my process, I can just ask myself a handful of questions and drop right back into it. At least it's all, I know it's all laid out. So from there, it doesn't really matter anymore. And so I set up a camera and I filmed it and I just went through, I've been doing the voiceover for it. And I went through it. I was just like, well, what questions was I asking myself when I first sat down to look at it? Like, all right, is my background going to be light or is my background going to be dark? If my background is light, I'll probably start this gray work in the foreground. If my background's dark, then I'm going to start in the background and work forward. Just like trying to think about what, like, really, like as if I were writing my process down like a recipe for someone else to follow. So anyways, I don't know how cool the episode's going to be. I've just been kind of chopping it together. But I think the point of it will be to make sure you know why you're doing what you're doing, and you don't just sit down and start tattooing and then like scratch your head like, where am I going next? Yeah,
I think that's a very important point that, every artist gets to in their careers. They just learn to sit back and trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's that level of confidence and that level of efficiency that allows them to work at a certain speed, like Rich, who can knock insanely detailed pieces very, very quickly. Rich and I constantly have this discussion about, it's not necessarily speed, it's efficiency. And when you trust your process and when you put down a solid field of, say, gray wash, for example, right? And you know that it's going to heal up exactly a specific way, you don't have to second guess it.
right.
And when you don't have to second guess it, you can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, it's trusting that process, and then also like keeping it interesting. I think that's really the people who do it the best, because I know people who are efficient tattooers, they're solid tattooers. I see them at conventions and they move through tattoos quickly, but their tattoo is like predictable. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I would have guessed that's what it was going to look like. Like, I mean, I get there's a process there. And I get it, and it looks like a tattoo, and it's clean, but it's not that, like, it's not interesting necessarily. Like people who trust their process and they end up coming to like, they end up doing something that's unexpected to the viewer, like to me, I really like that. I don't know how you do that. I think mine probably end up being predictable too, but like, obviously, Rich has a process, but at the end of the tattoo, there's something different about it that it wouldn't have been predictable to me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have like guessed that that's what it was going to end up as. I don't know. That's a tricky thing, I guess. But that's where better tattooers separate themselves. Did someone else pop on? Oh, Melissa. What's up, Melissa? I don't know how long you've been on here, but I just saw an extra box.
I like to sneak in.
Yeah. That looks cool. What are you working on today? Is this for an upcoming piece or just for fun?
It's a piece I laid out probably about a week and a half ago or so.
Okay.
We just did all of our line work. She's only able to sit for about 3 hours at a time. So we laid out all of her main line work, and then figured out the looks of the hand, this little hand piece. So when we go back into it, we'll be rolling out with the top of the hand. It's just a completely abstract mushroom sleeve.
Sweet. What program are you drawing in?
This is Adobe Sketch.
Oh, okay. It's on an iPad?
No, I actually, Android dropped support for this program earlier this week, and I've had a heck of a time recovering files and everything else since then. So
yeah.
I bought an iPad a couple of days ago, but I'm waiting for it to show up.
Oh, gotcha. So that's an Android tablet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I used that first version of the Cintiq hybrid for a few years, and I had the same problem with some program. I forget what it was even called now, like I don't know, Sketch something, but they stopped supporting it, and it got super glitchy, and I couldn't keep up with files, and
It's the same thing that's happening.
yeah. Well,
I've had a few scares this week already, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is driving me nuts. We're just gonna do it.
yeah. Well, sweet. That's gonna be nice. So you got all that lined in 3 hours?
So we don't have these little bits in. We don't have the elbow cap in yet. But we have basically this whole section lined in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted again. So we got all of this done. We didn't get these guys added in or the elbow cap.
Gotcha.
But we got all of this stuff lined in, and then we've got the hand to go into next time. And I might throw in some more line work. We're actually going into the armpit on this one, so I'm kind of stoked to put some stuff in there.
Man, I've never in my whole life done an armpit tattoo, like a tattoo that's meant to be in the armpit. I've had sleeves that make their way super, way up towards the armpit, but I've never done an armpit tattoo. I don't think I want to.
It's the same for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're doing the desk caps and the psychedelic ones up in the armpit. And she's like, we're doing those ones up there because those are the ones I really want on the piece. And so I have to she has to psych herself out for it.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Nice. Have you gotten to start the big cover-ups that you've been working on the last few weeks, or no?
Not yet, but I did get to gray wash in the snake and the floral piece yesterday.
Okay, cool.
She doesn't sit very still or for very long, so I opted to gray wash it in so that I could work out her wiggliness.
Gotcha.
As we refined in.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see it all coming together.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Well, what time do we have? Okay, we just got about 5 or so minutes. Yes. Does anyone else have any other projects? We haven't shown any of our own drawings today. We've just been like, Melissa's the first one. We've been showing everyone else's drawings off.
I'll show you what I got for the Monday night class. How about that?
Okay, cool.
I'm going to be working on the bottom portion of it because it doesn't look like it matches right now. There you go.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get the bottom and the top to kind of merge together a little bit more. I think I'm just going to change the entire bottom, the lower portion of it. I like how stark this is up at the top. And you get kind of lost in some of those blends and stuff down at the bottom, I think. So,
yeah. What's
You
the
also have a lot of competition.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. Bruno was pointing that out to me yesterday too. We went and had lunch at this Peruvian place. Man, that food is amazing. But, yeah. So what was the Monday night class? What was it called?
Contrast.
This one. Yeah. High contrast, I think is what it was. Maximum
Okay.
contrast.
Gotcha.
So he wanted us to kind of do the moth in a softer kind of feel, and then get some real bright contrast in the background and everything like that. So
Okay.
yeah, and do like a light source kind of deal. So that's fun with it.
Yeah, sweet. What so the figure is just something you put in, the elements that Guy assigned were like the moth and something high contrast around it?
Yeah, this is the elements that he provided, and it's kind of up to us to do what we want to do. There were some trees like that, like a little forest kind of scene involved with it, so it's kind of up to us to pick and choose what we wanted to use. So
yeah.
As always, he kind of leaves it open. He's like, if you want to add other stuff to it, if you see something that you would like to do your own thing, go for it. But just try to include these elements in it, though.
Yeah. Is this a 1 week assignment, or is it something that's ongoing?
1 week.
Yeah.
1 week. So on the plane ride down, I instead of taking a nap like I should have, I just went ahead and just worked all the way through the flight. You know what I mean? So, but it's not like work though. It's fun. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I have to take naps because I never remember to charge my iPad on the front end. So whenever I get on the plane, I get everything set up and I turn it on and it's at 4%. So I get to draw for like 3 to 5 minutes and then I sleep the rest of the way.
that sounds good. I think I'll start doing that. I'll just
Yeah.
thank you for me get on there, man. Gotta go to sleep now.
All right.
Yeah.
Jason, are you working on this? Are you doing the same project?
Yeah, I haven't gotten quite as far as Ricardo, though I have been trying to incorporate a lot of his like working methods. Let me switch my camera view. I'll show you guys what I've got so far. So I take a little bit more of a literal approach to the assignment, whatever it is, and just try to stick within the guidelines, just to try to focus a little bit more on, whatever it is that guy's trying to really illustrate or point out, and, try to just really work on things of that nature, trying to hone down whatever the assignment is. So I haven't really gotten super far with it yet. I still have to add in all the background, but I mean, silhouetted pine trees. They're not exactly the most difficult thing in the world. But the whole point is to show areas of contrast, right? So if we have our moth in the foreground, that's going to go up to maybe a 30% contrast, from white to like a 30% gray. And then the flame is supposed to have the full value range. So that's probably going to sit in that middle third and show a lot of those super darks and some of those very bright brights. And then the background is going to be like black to, 30% lighter than black, just to show a total tonal value range. So right now I've got all my primary whites located in the Luna moth in the front. Still have to go through and add the blacks and the whites to the flame, which I'll be doing whenever this ends. And then the background, like I said, is going to be a very low contrast, kind of dark forest scene. So should be fairly easy to throw in there.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, cool. Can't wait to check them out. All right. We're about out of time. It's almost my gym time. So I don't know who I told, but this is my last one hosting the Monday morning. I'm gonna move. Gabe and I and Lauren have started doing this Sunday night thing, and Sunday nights and Monday mornings both are a little bit much, especially trying to keep up with the stuff that I do for my own channel. So I definitely will still jump in on drawing groups, but I'm not gonna lead this one going forward. Rich, it's funny that you came on today. You should take this group over.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Take over. I don't even know what this group is focusing on.
Nothing.
It just feels like a hangout.
It is. You just normally it's the idea was that we all are drawing something and it's just like everyone has their drawings out in front of them and there's a camera over everyone's shoulder and
I'm coming in empty-handed. You
got me in your corner, man. I'll get you all set up. Don't worry about it.
Now I'm starting to understand what you meant by all the things you're saying about getting a camera above and all that. That's why I kept asking you. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, man. Tell me what to do.
You're at least we can see your face. A lot of times you go to like when I'll jump on the podcast with someone and all I can see is the window behind them and just this dark silhouette. It's like,
I'm not trying to backlight. I get that. I understand that.
Man, speaking of that, when we did our episode a few weeks ago, the way that I set it up, I'm looking at you up here through my through my camera and I didn't see myself. And I guess when I turned my camera on, I had done like a focus cancel. I've got like a touch screen on the back of this camera, and if you touch a spot, it'll cancel its automatic focus and it'll do a spot focus. And I had done that, and I was slightly out of focus for our entire episode, and I had no idea. So tomorrow when it comes out, I'm going to try to keep you on the camera as much as possible, and not me. And me not at all.
Man.
I had no idea
how nervous I am. So.
Right. Yeah, I had no idea until the end. We pulled the footage, and I was like, "Hey, what's wrong with my screen? It looks weird." And I'm like, "Oh no!" I started scrubbing through the footage. I was like, "Man, I was out of focus the entire time."
Oh,
Oh well. It's just it's minimal, and they actually, Premiere, Adobe Premiere is made for people like me because they have filters for almost everything you can screw up, and so and I've screwed all of it up. So like I can get on some Adobe forum and be like, "Hey, I filmed all my intro and out of focus. What do I do?" And I'm like,
perfect.
yeah, it's great. So, well, cool. Well, I'll thanks everybody for jumping on, and I will be on. Like I said, I just and I'm sure I'll still jump on some Monday mornings, but it's just that Sunday night to Monday morning transition is a little bit much. So,
Yeah,
Nice.
Rich, if you're interested, man, let me know. I'll start getting everything together, and maybe I'll pop over. We'll shoot some
I've
arrows.
expressed my
and
interest. We're going to set up a time. You can come on over.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
We'll-
You should do
we'll
it.
get you set
You'd
up.
be great. You just have to, and you don't even have to be on camera if you don't want, Rich. You can just put your camera over your shoulder or onto your iPad or whatever, and just draw and talk.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
cool.
by iPad,
Or
a
paper.
pad of paper works.
Pad of paper.
just
Yeah.
as
Sorry.
well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a analog.
Yeah. I did know that. I did know that. I forgot. So cool.
I learned that term jumping on these forums, man. I never- That's like
Am I gonna have to have like an identifying badge that I'm an analog guy or something like that?
Yeah. At least you never draw on the wrong layer, so that's good.
Yeah. That's happened to me several times. That's why I'm not really doing it very much.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Sure,
All
Jeff.
right. I've got to run on, but thanks everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon. And Rich, I'll reach out to you once the episode's live and shoot some clips over if you don't mind sharing them. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. Solid.
Cool, man. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you,
Take care.
Jake. Take care.
All right.
We'll
cheers.
keep this going for another little bit, guys, if you want to. It's up to you. I know Bruno and Ricardo and Kira, who are all together down in Miami. I know you guys probably have some drawing to get to in a little bit. How'd that drawing from yesterday turn out?
let's check it out.
Time doesn't exist over here, man. Like, we could do whatever we want.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous, by the way.
All right, come down. All right, you want to check it out? Let's see it.
Yeah, I was about to hop on a flight last night and pop down and just surprise you guys, but I knew I wouldn't make it back in time for this. Not that I did to begin with, but
We were kind of talking about that, how it'd be awesome to hang out, like just for you to just pop in. It would have been amazing. There's still time,
that's
Jason.
awesome.
So we've been playing with a lot
That's
of
crazy.
stuff. We're gonna go get some fixative from the store here pretty soon.
Art store.
Yeah, the art store. I'm gonna work on that eye on the other side of the face, and then Bruno and I and Kier have both been, all three been like kind of going through and scumbling some stuff in here and there, and then like talking about the overall look that we're gonna go with once it's all done. But it's been a pretty fun process.
I find it interesting that Kier's been working on that, and I don't see a single mushroom, and there's no teal.
That's the next layer.
I've been holding her hand, like she keeps on trying to grab the color pencil with teal, put it in there. Like, go here, not yet.
You totally can though.
Yeah, Rich, Rich, it's a running joke going on between like the four of us, is that everything Kira does has teal in it and a mushroom somewhere. Every single thing I think I've ever seen her draw in her entire career so far has a mushroom and the color teal.
But yeah, last week she said it's like the wonder color or whatever. Like it goes with everything.
Yes.
It is the watercolor, absolutely.
And then you wonder why you're not using it.
It's like, but how does teal mix into monochromatic?
When you just use nothing but teal.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Teal, black, and white. That's monochromatic.
Values of teal. There you go.
I love teal.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich, man, if you did this Monday morning thing, that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Kind of walk through your process.
No pressure or anything, Rich. There's no pressure, man. It's not like we're trying to be like, yeah, Rich, you should really take it over. Peer pressure. We're not trying to do that or anything, man. Just think about it. If feels like something that you want to take on, we'd love to have you. Not that I can speak for like the administration or anyone else that's watching, but you know, I personally would love to see you get involved to that level.
Yeah, man. Every single time I jump in front of this camera, I'm like, shoot. All right, here we go. Do this. I feel you. I feel you.
I'm just an anxious person, I guess.
We all are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of,
it
yeah,
kind of comes with the territory.
artistic tendencies.
The artistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you got on the slate this week, Rich?
What, that I have to draw or what I'm doing?
Both.
Okay. Let me see here. Oh, I'm tomorrow. I'm doing an inverted cross on my friend's like sternum. Yeah, she's badass. It's just a small one. I had like somebody have to reschedule, and she just happened to message me, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. Just a little banger on Wednesday, and just be able to walk away from it. I'm doing a necromancer with candles. Yeah, I have to draw that on Thursday. And then I have to draw a mermaid, like a full leg sleeve mermaid on Friday.
You're talking about your schedule. Like, is there a way that you go about it? Like, I know each artist is kind of different. A lot of us work off of like a 6-day work week or a 5-day work week. And then I like in the mornings. I like working from the morning to the earlier evening time. You know what I mean? What do you do? Like, how do you keep your schedule?
So, it starts with the booking, right? So like, if it's a sleeve, of course, you want to book them multiples so you're not sitting too far out, the piece isn't fresh anymore in your mind or whatever it might be. So like I book that. And then before that first appointment, I also set up a drawing date for myself. So, and like a deadline for me to have this done. If it's something that like I kind of am excited about, I'll just draw it right off the bat and not even have to worry about doing it. Like I'm excited. I want to jump in. Ones where I got to take some time out and really research, I'll give myself 2 days for the drawing. And like typically if it's like a back piece, I'll draw it all in like 2 hours or whatever. And then the next day I'll look at it further and be like, all right, I don't like what I did here, whatever, blah, 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 and make the changes I need to do. I'm also a morning person. So I do a 5-day work week. I do not work on my days off. I just don't want to do that. I like having, a private life and a social life and stuff like that. So like every morning I wake up at around 6:30, 7, and then I get into the shop between like 7:45 to 9 is the latest. And then I draw whatever that drawing I had to do was. I draw that. And then if I have time left over, I'll just draw like some flash for fun, or I'll draw 2 versions of the idea or 3 versions of the idea. Awesome. And I normally set up like my disposable stuff the night before. So like all I have to do is put my machines together, and then my client's normally walking through the door, and then we're good to go.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's like religion for me. Like that's how I pray, like I get up at 6:45 in the morning and then get my day going. I also work only to the early evening because I like to see the sunset. Fucking tattooers don't see the sunset ever,
Yeah, or sort of even the sunrise sometimes, right? I love seeing.
Yeah, no shit.
I love it, dude. It's great. So you're like into the ritual of the habit, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a good place to be, man. I feel the same way. I kind of started doing the same thing because I started needing some more like organization, or just like something to kind of hold myself accountable, like each day. Just go each day, wake up and do the same thing each day. But it's not like you're doing the same exact thing because you love drawing, you love tattooing, but meeting new people and stuff like that too. So there's no
that's the recipe for success, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think it got in my head. Probably I started like when I was like 21. So I was doing a lot of graffiti around then. And the big thing was like while everybody else is sleeping, you're out fucking hustling, you know? So like, while everybody's sleeping in the morning, you're grinding on, dude. You're grinding on in the mornings when all those tattooers are walking in late to their appointment. And then sometimes, a lot of times, you stay after your tattoo and you might draw again. You know what I mean? Like while they're drawing, you know, that's how you hustle. That's just the way. It's just the way I was taught, I guess, or learned.
Yeah, it's great that you can say that. You know what I mean? It's just the way that you learn. That's awesome. Because it just makes sense to you. It might not make sense to everybody, but you try to you know, if you're asked about it, you can talk to them about it, and hopefully they take something away from it because of it, right? So,
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm the same way with my days off too. I get a lot of clients that are like, well, you know, I can't make it on the days that you have your hours. How about we come in on when you're like your Saturday or Sunday or something like that? You know what? You know what's funny about that, man, is I don't work on that day either. Like,
Yeah.
how hard is it? How much more is it there to explain? It's like that's my day off as well. Like,
Yeah.
So do I. I mean,
dude,
shit.
you know what you do? My old Brian Donovan, Jason knows Brian. Brian would do double time. So so if it was 150 an hour, nope, it's 300 an hour now. You're gonna make me come in on my day off. You're gonna be paying for it.
Right. That's, I mean, dude, some people are into that. You know what I mean? And I don't think that that's bad to say or bad, like you know, what's the right way to say it? Like a boundary line for you. You know, like, it's not a bad boundary for you to have.
Yeah. You're happy with the boundaries you've set, you know, and people can't argue that because then they're making you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Some people can be pretty pushy and you're like, dude, you're not going to walk over my line. You know what I mean? Like, accommodate you, but it's going to accommodate me too.
Yeah. You know how many fucking days that I came in on my day off, you know what I mean? Or came in early or stayed till midnight. You know how many days I've done that? Like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that anymore.
The clients that appreciate you, man, they're never gonna give you shit about it. You know, they're gonna be like, "Not pay off, of course. You gotta the rest and whatever." You know, so if you get being all pushy, and it's most likely somebody you probably don't even work with anyway, especially bigger.
Yeah, like you just say like, "Not my client," you know, just not my client.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you know, especially if you work in a shop with other people, it's like, you know what, I can't help you, but these other guys, they're out. Talk to them, I'll introduce you and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good spot to be whenever you're trying to practice and learn more patience and stuff like that for yourself and for like your work and everything like that. But I think that there definitely has to just be that end of the line kind of statement, that comment to them in the part of the conversation. They're just like, sorry, man, it's just not going to work. You know, so yeah, completely agree with you. It's I'm not going to be staying late all the time anymore.
Yeah, I'm too old for that shit now.
Likewise, dude. Likewise. Plus, I like to wake up really early in the morning too. You know. My day started. So, you know, there's a lot.
But you know what? There's still some value in that late night, right? There's still some value in that to make you like, you know, just remember what it's like to be working hard. You know, those days. So like, you know, I trained a guy, and he's been tattooing for about 2 years now. And every once in a while, I'll see that like weird little thing come out of him where it's just like, what do you mean we only have an hour? You could totally do that tattoo in 20 fucking minutes. And you know what I mean? Like do it. Like, what's wrong with you? Just like work hard now. Do it now. Start putting away all that money. You know what I mean? Like it's like, I don't think he's earned that ability to sit there and be like, no, I don't want to do this. You know, it's just, come on, dude. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't haze you during your apprenticeship. I didn't do anything. I never asked you to go get food for me or anything. You know what I mean? Like, stay and do hard work. Accommodate these people right now and know what it feels like to work hard as fuck. So you're tired when you're 40.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
I don't know.
Hard, I did it. Fucking you do
I'm
it.
still that guy that, you know, so the studio I work at, we close at 9. We get someone that walks in at 8:45 and wants a little banger tattoo. I'll stay. You know, I'll stay even if I got to stay there until midnight. I mean, I was there this past Friday night until 11:30, 12 o'clock.
That shop's
always
tattooing. Like that. That shop's always been like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I remember make the money. Why not?
I remember there was like a really bad snowstorm, and there was like 2 feet of snow dumped on us, and it was just like he wouldn't let us leave. Like, what the fuck, man? That was Trip, not Jay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
You know, like he wouldn't let us leave. We you know, like you weren't allowed to leave until that 9 o'clock hits, period. You know, and if anybody walks in, you're doing it. You know, he stayed there and kept you accountable, you know?
See, I've always been the guy where if I have an appointment that day, even if it snows, and
Yeah,
this happened
no, I
at
do
a
that.
couple of
I have a
different
Jeep.
studios I was at. I
Yeah.
have a 4-wheel drive car
Yeah.
for a reason.
Exactly.
I will be at the studio.
Yeah,
Are
I'll be
you
there.
still coming in?
If
Right?
you don't come in, I'll still be there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing else to do except for shovel, and I got to wait until the snow stops for that. So
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be drawn. Let me know.
I've done it. I like it. I like going out in the snow, but whatever. You know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
I like the snow when it first starts, and then after the first stop, and after that, I'm like, okay, I can deal without it.
I got a lifted Jeep with like knobby tires, so it's like that's like a big boy toy. You know what I mean? You just drive over shit. You don't even care.
It's like boom, boom. What was that? I don't know, but whatever
When
it
they put
is,
speed bumps on the turnpike.
Oh man. Yeah, it's like made for that kind of terrain.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can understand that, but shoveling it and then dealing with it after you've been driving in it for like a month or two, it's terrible.
I love it.
Oh, man.
Well, where do you? So you're Miami right now, but where you guys live?
I'm
Ricardo's out in Illinois. Bruno's in
Illinois.
Miami. He's the lucky one that never has to
Miami.
deal with
No snow there. Got it.
And then Kirsten's all the way up in Western Mass.
Oh yeah, she knows snow.
Yeah.
From Boston.
Snow expert.
She's like, oh, only a foot? That's it?
Yeah, you call that snow?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's more the wind chill than the snow lately. Like the wind chill, we get to like -30 to 40, and it's just
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. It froze over. Was that last year? Yeah.
Yeah, my day job before full-time tattooing, I remember the snowstorm last winter when I had to go do trailers and stuff like that outside, and he put his hands around the metal trailer and his hands got stuck on the trailer because of the wind. So yeah, it's very cold. So when we go to Belgium, it's gonna be like nothing. It's for me.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, oh, it's 30 degrees outside. This is warm. Let me take off my coat.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny because when you're from that area, you know, in the springtime when it's still like 40 degrees or something like that, like everybody's walking around in a t-shirt and some shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody was a visitor, they'd be like, "What is wrong with you guys, man?" Like, no,
I would say Pennsylvania's kind of like that too.
yeah,
Like, you know, the
To an
first
extent, I mean, we don't
semi-warmish
get
day, we're
negative
like
30.
windows down, and everything.
yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, open up the windows. We need some air in here. It's like, dude, it's 30 degrees. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Turn on the heater.
The one time, because Miami rarely gets cold, but like in the winter, there's a few days where it's cold.
Well,
And,
define cold, Bruno.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
Define
was
cold.
thinking. Like 60s.
that's true, man. I should. Yeah, cold. You guys know cold. This is really not cold. This is like 50 degrees. Like it's really not
chilly.
that bad.
Yeah, that.
It's chilly.
But I was by the beach and nobody was in the beach, and it was just one guy that was in the ocean, happy. And then I find out, I was like, God damn, I was in the water, And it turns out he was from Boston.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was nothing, It was,
You just gotta run in, man. It gets cold. That water gets cold up here. You just gotta run in and just deal with it. You get used to it real fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's like moving to any different area, right? The human body will acclimate to whatever climate it's in. That's why you see people that live up in Alaska that they're like, oh yeah, it's 20 degrees outside. It's starting to get a lot warmer. And, it's like, you don't quite realize that their body is already used to living at that kind of a temperature, right? It's used to functioning at that temperature. Bruno's body is used to functioning in 70-degree weather all year long, right? So we take him and put him in a spot where it's, to us normal, right? Because Rich, you and I are in Pennsylvania. So if we put him somewhere that's like, 60 degrees average, he's going to be freezing the whole time until his body gets acclimated to that.
Yeah. Well, the acclimation is just your what is it? like your body. So like when you're in places like, you know, the Antarctica and all that kind of stuff in the really, really cold areas, you actually have to take in more calories to accommodate for your body actually turning its furnace on. So you could just, you know, like without even doing physical activity, just the act of keeping yourself warm just burns calories like pretty much like nonstop. So the acclimation is like that, you know what I mean? It hasn't learned to like start cooking you, you know?
Yeah. My Uncle Russell once told me about that. He used to run the boats that used to ferry scientists back and forth to Antarctica. So he
From New
would be
Zealand,
down
yeah.
there a couple of times a year.
Or Chile.
He's like, yeah, doing that calorie load before you start to get underway is important
Yeah.
because your body is going to burn so many calories when it first hits that negative 70-degree weather that you're not even going to realize it.
Well, the Vikings did that too. That like, it's funny because like I haven't really watched much of the show Vikings, but you know, they're all like jacked and they all have like, you know, super muscular bodies and they're all cut and fit. But the reality is they gorged themselves and got fat because when they went on those long trips, they were starving on their way over to wherever they were going. So like Vikings typically should be seen as like either just like, you know, guys who've just lost 50 pounds on a trip or just fat guys, you know, and that's it.
Gigantic. big bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa, that's coming along great.
Thank you. I'm super excited to do the hand. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be really nice.
Ooh.
Spotlight, yeah.
Look at that. That looks awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fire, Melissa.
Is that for a right hand?
Yes.
So that little thing is yeah, that's going to go into the knuckle, on the thumb knuckle.
Let me see if I've got, I'll pull up my Instagram because I've got photos of it. And I actually placed the stencil on the hand, so you see it. So that's how it'll sit.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Sweet.
All right.
Sweet.
That's gonna be a sick piece.
But it is what it
And
is.
so all of the line work was done in like 3 hours, and I was so bummed I didn't get to go to the hand. I'm like, dang it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Now is that the S8 red stencil?
Yes,
Awesome. That's what I use.
I love that
was
stuff.
just
I've been using
curious.
it for years.
Yeah, I actually just found some stencil ointment that helps it transfer really, really well. So ever since I came across that and realized how awesome it was for stencils, it's called Stencil Plus. It's from a company called Aloe Tattoo. Ever since I realized how awesome that stuff was for stencils, I picked up some of the red paper and a sample pack of the blue and green just to try out to see if I liked it. And I realized that my line work was a lot more easy to decipher whenever I used that red stencil because I could actually clearly see those black lines going in without any kind of distortion because I like a nice dark stencil. So when I switched over to the red stencil paper, it was like night and day difference. I didn't have any challenges or any difficulties seeing the exact size line that I was putting in anymore.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
That red stencil paper, does that just go through a regular Thermalflex?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
I remember picking it up out in Oregon or Seattle one year or whatever, and she was like telling me you have to put like a page in between or something, or is it still like that where you got to have like additional things in order to use it, or is it just good to go?
I've never done that.
All right,
no,
cool.
it's good to go. In fact,
I think maybe they were
use it
trying to sell me
either-
something. Like, I don't know.
You can use it thermal, or you can use it just like normal stencil paper, the traditional method.
Hand trace, hand draw.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll bring you over a sample pack of it if you want me to, Rich. I've got some of it laying around.
I think I actually have some. I just never used it.
I have realized that it does dry out pretty quickly. So you do have to kind of like take care of it a little bit more if it's sitting on a shelf for a little while.
Okay.
It's
So,
something
yeah,
that
mine's
I
fine.
remember asking someone about a while back, how if you have packs of stencil paper that have been sitting around for a long time, they do tend to dry out just based on the moisture. And that's why, like, every now and then, if you get to the end of the pack, say you're working on a whole bunch of existing pieces and, you know, you don't really have to run a stencil for a while, and then you go to grab, you know, a piece of stencil paper that, I don't know, maybe it's been sitting on the shelf in an open box for a couple of weeks or whatever. Maybe it doesn't come out quite as clean or quite as clear or quite as dark as like a fresh page when you first open up that box. It's because it does dry out very slightly over time. So I've noticed that the red does tend to dry out a little bit more, but I mean, that's really the only disadvantage that I've seen with it. That
haven't really
and
run
it
across
doesn't
that.
always transfer perfectly clear if you're not using something super tacky.
So
like
it'll
if
slide.
Yeah, it does tend to slide and smear a little bit easier.
Mm.
That's stencil
What
stuff
I'm
is-
using is not broke.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Ricardo, I think I gave you a bottle of that Stencil Plus at the Gettysburg show to try out.
It's like a game changer, man. It's awesome. Like you put you rub it on, you let it, you know, breathe for about, I don't know, I've been letting it breathe for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes and then put the stencil on there, dude. And it's like, and it's concrete. It's not going anywhere. Like for real.
2 3 minutes you let it dry.
Yeah, just like a couple minutes, if that. Like just kind of
After
like,
you put the stencil stuff on there?
Yeah.
yeah.
Let it dry to like a
What is
nice
it called?
tacky.
Stencil Plus?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Check
amazing.
it out.
It's well worth it. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you like passing that on to me, Jason. Thank you.
Dude,
I'm gonna
it was a
I'm gonna
game
look that
changer
up.
for me for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's night and day.
Well, since last week, I actually ordered raw pigments. I ordered their reds to try those out, and I was gonna use it on a piece yesterday, but the guy wanted it like the piece like the size of his entire thigh. So I was like, I'm not trying out brand new inks that I've never used before on somebody, but I'm actually excited to see what these look like. I got the Bloodberry, I believe it's called, and kind of looks like pomegranate. Like when I opened it up on the paper towel, it looked like pomegranate. And then like their next like a dark red. I can't remember what the name is, but I'm excited to use those. So I'm gonna pick up this Stencil Plus stuff too. Try that out.
Yeah. So they've got 2 different types. They've got the spray bottle and then a pump bottle.
Yeah.
The pump
What do you
bottle is
prefer?
actually called Stencil Premium.
Uh-huh.
The spray bottle that you can use to like spray directly on the skin is called Stencil Plus. It's all the same thing. It just comes in 2 different types of bottles.
What supplier are you using?
So I believe I'm going through Nordic Tattoo Supply. You have to order it from Europe. It's a European-based company.
Okay.
So it is a little bit more pricey, but 1 bottle of that stuff will last you a long time.
Cool. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Hey, a little off topic here, but since Melissa's online with us, I wanted to tell you, Melissa, and fill you in how that banner went, the oil painting banner that I did.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, I had no issues with it so far. It rolled up pretty easy. There wasn't any cracking or anything like that done or that happened to it. There's a few more layers that I have to put on it. So I think I'm going to try to have that done before I head down to Dallas. And actually, I'm going to be headed down there with Lauren with the raw pigment crew. So I'm going to get a few more layers on that done. So it's going to add a little bit more weight to the oil. But so far, so good. No issues. I took a few photos of it and stuff like that, and I'll try to send them over to you. Hopefully when I get back to Illinois after this trip.
That's rad. Thank you for the update. I was looking at that going, man, that's really cool. I like how analog it is when you see all these crisp, like digital banners and stuff. I'm going to be out at Evergreen in October during Jiminy Peak. Don't have it ready by then with how busy I am, but I'd like to give it a shot for next year for sure.
It's fun. The only thing that I noticed is that like, since it is like, hand done or analog or whatever, it's the lighting on it was a little bit different. Like it absorbed the light different than a lot of these other canvases that are already, digital. So that's something to take into consideration. I think what I'm going to do is I don't want to change the colors that I'm selecting for the painting. I don't want to change any of that. So I think what I'm going to do is look into like a little lightweight LED strip, that might be able to hover over it, kind of like, and cast the light down onto it kind of evenly. That's the only thing that I noticed so far.
Well, do you think that's partly due to the fact that it's unvarnished?
That might be part of it, but then with the varnish, you have to do something matte in order so it won't catch any of the glare and stuff like that. But that might enhance some of the vibrancy of it. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that'll definitely alter the way that the light's absorbed onto those pigments. Because right now, without any kind of a varnish on it, each one of those pigments is absorbing light in a different way.
Right,
so that's creating that kind of like a texture, right? Which allows you to see that, yeah, it's really hand painted, which is awesome. But when you add that final coat of varnish on there, I think it's going to completely change the way that it looks to the human eye, especially if it's hanging up in that kind of an environment. So I'd say give that a shot first.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when I get back, I'm going to try to knock out a few more hours on it and see if I can't get it pretty close to being finished before the end of the week. So we'll see how it, wish me luck on that. But yeah.
If the varnishing doesn't give you the acceptable visibility because of the lighting, I would look into perhaps the little ring lights that you can find on Amazon for $20. Finding one that's on like a clip system or something to be able to easily attach it, and that way you'd have, I don't know, probably like 1.5 feet, 2 feet to be able to kind of adjust how it hits it.
Right. Yeah, I'm learning all kinds of new stuff with this traveling this year. I just recently bought a Pelican case, so I'll have to pick one of those up so I can kind of figure out how I'm gonna situate it into the suitcase. But Jason recommended one. It's a pretty big suitcase, man, but it fits everything. It's awesome. So I'll look forward to kind of seeing by getting that light and adjusting the case for it. So thank you. Yeah.
Well, it's getting to be about that time, guys. If you guys are ready, we'll start to go through, do some sign-offs, and start closing some stuff out.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. If you want to stay hanging out a little bit longer, I'm down, but
I'm hungry. I think we're gonna go get some breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. Second breakfast?
Not yet. I haven't had first breakfast yet.
It's almost time for 11sies.
I know it is almost time for 11sies. Believe me, my stomach recognizes. It's
What?
correct.
Who doesn't love 11sies?
I love 11sies. I love it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I know.
All right, so let's start then, I guess.
All right, Ricardo, since you're there, I'll spotlight you. Why don't you go through and give us a spotlight? I don't want you to be late for 11sies or second breakfast, whichever comes first.
Yeah. My name is Ricardo Servat. You can find me on Instagram at Candor Tattoo. I host a Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time drawing class. I'll also be with Guy Etchison tonight at 9 p.m. I look forward to seeing everybody there and hopefully talk to everybody tomorrow morning. We're going to have these guys with us tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty fun to hang out and do some drawing, go over some of the methods and stuff like that I approach, some of the values in my scale, like my scale value in my drawings and stuff like that. So check me out. Send me a message. Say what's up. Talk to you guys later.
Awesome. Bruno, Kira, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Kira Franklin. I teach Thursday night fundamental classes that are now, I guess, the morning time, so they're now at 10 a.m. I will also be at the class tonight with Guy. It's gonna be super fun. Love hanging out as always on Zoom, hanging out here in Miami. So yeah, very excited. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno Salvatierra. You can find me on Instagram on Christmas_art. And I'll also be joining tonight's Monday night subscribers drawing group. should be a lot of fun like it always is. And yeah, we'll see you there. We got a lot of fun stuff going on here tomorrow. Carlos class. We're gonna also be doing some oil painting later in the day, and working on a collab piece design. So we'll have some fun stuff to share next time we all chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Who wants to go next? Melissa, Rich? Anyone?
I'll go.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
I'm Rich Wren. I could be reached at the Rich Wren on Instagram, and I won't be in tonight's drawing class.
Well, let's see what we can do about changing that, Rich. Love to see your spin on things. If you have time. I mean, I know you go to bed early, so
I got jujitsu tonight.
I know 9 o'clock is a little late for
I gotta go
you,
get my ass
so-
kicked.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for jumping in. Hopefully we get to see you a bit more often.
I'll make it a habit.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to see you in here on Mondays. So, and Melissa, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick sign off?
Hey guys, Melissa Sink here. I'm located out in Staten, Oregon. I also will not be on the subscriber exercise tonight, not because I don't miss you guys, but I've got another class for another 2 weeks and then I'll be joining back in. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram at MAC_MISSA, MacMissa. Reach on out if you feel like talking.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you very much. And I guess I'll spotlight myself for everyone. So my name's Jason Leeser. I usually host the Sunday afternoon drawing groups for Reinventing the Tattoo. You know, I kind of jumped in here a little bit late today, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it's always a blast hanging out with everyone. Don't forget to check out the Monday morning drawing groups, such as this one, every Monday at 9 a.m. Ricardo also has his tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, I believe. Maybe it's 9 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Well, 10
a.m.
a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, or is it 10 a.m. Eastern?
Oh,
10 a.m.
shit.
Eastern.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Eastern.
Eastern, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Starting to get confused.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you everyone for tuning in and watching this morning. Rich, it's always great to have you on here. Hopefully we get to see you more often, and who knows, maybe you'll be leading this one day. We'll see what we can do as far as that goes. Don't worry, you have me in your corner. I'll take care of all the tech stuff in the background. You just sit there, look pretty, and draw.
Oh, I already do.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And now is the point in time in the meeting where everyone gives a goofy face or says cheers or, you know, throws peace signs or whatever they want to. So cheers, everyone. Thank you.